Hi, XCraft39 here with you again for segment 3 on our Eduard Overlord P51b dual combo kit build. So in this segment, we're going to be tidying up the bottom of the fuselage and the tail feathers. We'll get that knocked out and then we'll move on from there. So this is going to be quick and easy, pretty straightforward. Nothing extraordinary happening here, but for any newbies out there who may glean some information out of it, that's great. That's why I'm doing this. So stay tuned for just a moment, and I'll be right back.
All right, got the boring stuff out of the way. I have the tailplane components removed from the trees, and any flashing removed. It's nice in these more modern kits, they actually think about where they're putting the mounts to the sprues. So a lot of the times they put them on the edges where you don't necessarily notice. Like there was one here on this tab, so you'll never see that. There was one on the bottom here. I had to file that off a little bit. And these on the leading edges of the wings. Well, they put them on this surface, which is on the inside. So that's nice because it doesn't mess up your leading edge, which I really like. So these guys, yeah, and they're keyed. You can see how this slides into this. It doesn't overlap it. It slides into it. So you end up with a really nice finished wingtip or stabilizer tip. I'll keep that from coming apart on you. So a little drop of glue here. Right across there. Okay. And then our elevator right there. There we go. No worries, eh? Okay. That is the port side. Now we got the starboard side here. There's just a little bit of a spot on this leading edge where the sprue was attached. However, our plastic welder took care of that for us and filled that little tiny divot that was there, so we don't have to do anything with that. Okay, let's throw our elevator in. Excuse me. Okay, so that's starboard side. So we can go ahead and glue these in here. I'm going to go on the bottom side. Completely invisible. And that top side looks perfect. So I'm not going to put anything on that top side because it wicked in there on the bottom. So we'll be good. Then we'll get our starboard side in. Got a little gap on the bottom here. That closed right up. And yeah, you can actually see where it wicked right up to that top surface. Now I just give it a shot. Just look down the back, looking forward to make sure it looks like we got a nice square tail. You can see there. She's square. So don't have to do anything further with that. Here's our rudder. Okay. So rudder's installed. You can see it looks nice and square. All right, we're going to tidy up the bottom of the fuselage here. First thing, I already went ahead and I installed these doors. I realized I messed up when I assembled these two fuselage halves. I did not install this piece that actually goes up into here inside the fuselage, so I just had an open hole there. So I had to fish that in there. Unfortunately, it went in there and it dropped in pretty well in place, and got her glued in, so it's good to go. And I was able to install this door and this door. Now I've got this intake, and then I've got these little vents that go up on the nose of the fuselage. Let's go ahead and do those first. So these guys, oops, I got the wrong one. They set in place here, and they set in quite nicely. That one, actually, I think I got a little flashing on this yet. Thought I got that all cleaned off. This side. There we go. That drops in there like that. A little bit of glue on there. And boom. That's in. And I got a little flashing on this one too here. Just a little bit there. Just enough to keep that from seating the way it's supposed to. Okay, get that in there. And around with some bonder. Okay. And then we got this chin scoop here. Try not to drop that in the fuselage. You can get it out. If you do. Okay. And then we got the supercharger inlet. Yep. Just like that. So we are actually nearing short installation of flaps. We're nearing the point. We're going to be getting ready to prime here pretty soon. Landing gear goes on after the model is completely assembled. Now I did notice there is a piece of PE that goes on the bottom of this fuselage. Let's take a look at it. It's P47. Okay, that looks like some sort of an like an access door. Okay, so that's going to get painted. So let's go ahead and install that. 47. Right here. Even has a hinge on it. Looks like it goes sideways. And there's a slight raised area here that needs to be shaved off. Matter of fact, it's so slight, I'm not even going to mess with it for fear of gouging up the bottom of the fuselage here. We're just going to glue this right over top of that. And it should be just fine. Okay. All right, so it's going to go like that. Okay. Get a little CA on there, just like we did with the dash. A little bit. Just drop that on there. I'm going to push it down so it's nice and flat and we don't have any edges that are up, because it'll look unsightly after it's painted if you could see any of those edges popped up. Okay, it is stuck. Okay. So this pretty much completes the major portion of the assembly, aside from the flaps. So next we'll do the flaps. It's out of order in the manual. I go out of order a lot in the manuals. I jump around. So anyways, we're going to jump around here. We'll get the flaps built, get those installed. And then windshield, we're going to get it to the point where the fuselage is ready to paint, aside from landing gear. So we're going to have to do some work here to mask this off. I'll show you how I accomplish that. I use foam. Same thing with the cockpit. We'll have to get this windshield installed, these rear windows. We've got a few things to do yet, but then we'll be moving on to primer.